Oh, good morning, Hannah. Still just 1 minute to midday. Thank you for interviewing me. My name is Vic Day. I am National President of the Career Veterans Association of Australia. I served in the Australian Army for 6 years. I went to Japan in March 1952 and went into Korea for 1 year from June 52 until June 53, meaning the Australian soldier signed on for 1 year to serve in the Korean War. I served with the 3rd Battalion, the Royal Australian Regiment, and saw a bit of action. My first patrol was the 12th of July 1950. My first combat patrol was the 12th of July 1952, when 26 Australians crossed the San Magellan Valley, which is now in the DMZ, to supposedly gain a prisoner. We lost 3 men, never seen from that day to this. They are classed as missing in action. 15 wounded and 8 of us didn't get hit. Very traumatic night, which I will never forget. Many things happened between then, including the Korean winter, which I didn't like, don't like snow. And until the following June the next year, when my 12 months tour of duty was up and I got out, back to Japan and then back home to Australia. Thank goodness. But I'd do it all again if I had to, and I was young enough.
What are some of the activities as president of the Australian Korean War Veterans Association? What do you think is significant about Australia's contributions in the Korean War? I know you've met, veterans from many different countries.
I have.
And presidents of different associations, but when you, let's just say, meet with other presidents, like, what do you feel pride about Australian forces?
Australians have fought in many wars in many countries around the world for over 100 years. And for some time after the Korean War, we felt that we weren't recognised as returned servicemen. Korea was sort of classed as a forgotten war, which is sad because the Korean people that suffered and the veterans that paid the supreme sacrifice, it certainly wasn't a forgotten war to them or us. So that kind of thinking has thankfully passed, and now we are completely recognised as Korea being a war and not a police action. Police action is a sarcastic, demeanal saying. I hate it. The Korean War was a Korean War, without a doubt, for those that served and the Korean people that suffered. Without a doubt, it was a war. And we went to help. All Korea veterans, Australian Korea veterans, were volunteers. We volunteered to go. I often wonder why I did, but I don't regret it. Saw a lot of things that I'll never forget. Houses down near Busan, outer limits, made of American sea ration boxes, which are semi-waterproof. And the Korean people built houses out of them because they had nothing else. In 1976, my wife and I went on a short tour of Korea, through Busan, Seoul, and there, in every city intersection, there was a sentry box made of sandbags, a machine gun in the centre, and 4 soldiers. It was a curfew, so you had to be off the streets from midnight to 6 a.m. Everyone, all civilians and visitors, tourists, off the street at midnight and not back till 6 a.m. or you get shot. And that went on till the Korean consul in Melbourne told me last year, that went on till 1980. So I am amazed, truly amazed, that the Korean people from the Republic of Korea have graduated to become the 10th largest trading country in the world under those conditions for that long. I'm truly amazed. I come down and wed you.
Show me some pictures and articles.
Okay, I've got a folder here. I made up a folder for Hannah. This one's out of a newspaper, going back quite a while, but the date will be on it somewhere. They interviewed 3 of us. These 2 of us, unfortunately, Navy, me in the middle in the Army, and the Air Force fella. These 2 have since passed away, but the stories are in there. Stories. And there's a photo of us today that took it. This one was done for the local paper, and one or 2 as I went back to Korea. I got some brochures of flora and fauna to take to give to the school children, which you see when you go to the museum or the memorials. And I distributed the Australian flora and fauna posters to the children, which they loved. There's a photo here of Dr. Woo San Kim, who was the ambassador at the time. And we planted a pine tree at a school in Melbourne, and then I'll be there Monday, and they have it in a memorial garden, and it is obviously grown since that time. There's a story I wrote some time ago at an interview, and it got printed in Greybeards. That's out of the Greybeards, the American magazine. And a story that I've done in a couple of photos. There's a photo of me after the trial I spoke about before. There's a story about the patrol from the paper. This is an article I wrote to speak at schools and clubs, and 3-page article. It can delete some things if the children are too young to understand, but if they're adults, we can talk about the whole lot. There's a photo of me at in Korea in the snow. Not a very good photo. Here's a photo of the church, Korean church in Melbourne, and all the Australians and a few Koreans nationals in there. That a couple of years ago. There's a photo of me and a friend of mine. He's since passed away, unfortunately, which is not unusual these days. Here's a photo of me the morning after the patrol, cleaning some photos at Uwe Jong-gu when I did a Canadian battle school. There's a couple of stories in there out of newspapers, and I put in some postcards of the National Korean War Memorial, not the Korean War Memorial, the National Australian War Memorial, for you to take home, and some army stickers. So there we are. That's yours.
Thank you.